Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another installment of Tony's Take. I know it's been a hot minute since I've done one of these, but even you guys gotta admit, man, it's been slow as shit in the gaming industry, man, when it comes to news in the last 2 weeks. Actually, the whole month's been crazy slow. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but yeah, I do want to apologize, because I know a good deal of you guys, you subscribe to the channel because of Tony's Takes and, and stuff. Obviously, I want you here because of Throwdown, and these Tony's Takes are kind of a little bit of a supplement to that. But I do know that some of you guys just joined for that specifically and haven't given you what you wanted. But again, kind of not my fault because it's been slow as a motherfucker. But I do want to do something kind of special today. Usually when I do Tony's Takes, I reference, an article from another site and stuff, and I talk about what I think about it. I'm gonna do something a little different today because I'm gonna reference one of my articles. Okay, so I posted up an editorial up on geek.com, and it's called Project Scorpio's Power Advantage Won't Be Enough to Top of the PS4. People have already covered this for a while now. I've actually talked about it a lot on Twitter. By the way, if you don't follow me on Twitter, please follow me on Twitter. Crazy stuff happens there. So, but I still want to do my own take on it, So, let's get down into it, because a lot of people are saying that, that's it. Scorpio's coming. PlayStation 4 is done, because the Scorpio is just so much more powerful. It's over for PlayStation, right? But I'm like, not really. As a matter of fact, despite Scorpio's extra horsepower, when it is very impressive, not taking that away from Scorpio, I still believe it's gonna have a very hard time against PlayStation this holiday. There's a bunch of reasons for that, so I'm gonna just go down I'm using my own fucking editorial here as a guidance point. So this is hilarious. But anyway, let's get into it, man. Price, right? So we know that this thing has been built as a premium price console pretty much since it was announced, right? Premium price means it's going to cost a lot of money. That's got to be over $400, right? That's what premium means to me. So I don't really see this thing being any less than $500. Even Eurogamer, they did their breakdown of the Scorpio, right? And they say, hey, $500 for this thing, man. So I'm going to go along with that, because again, this thing is so beefy. All the specs and shit that are going into it, I really don't see how it could be even $500. It seems to me like it's a little bit too, it's not enough. You know what I'm saying? This system probably should be $600, $700, but that's too much money already. And we know what happened when Microsoft released Xbox One at $500. So I'm gonna say this one is $500, right? But speaking about Xbox One, $500. Let's just be completely honest, was too much for that system, right? The system was weaker than the PS4. It came with the Kinect. The reason it cost $500, and nobody even used that shit, so $500 for Xbox One, not even justified at all. It was not, that system was not worth it. $500. Scorpio, on the other hand, that is worth $500, right? Because you get native 4K resolution, reported for native 4K resolution. You got 6 teraflops of computing power, and you got a built-in UHD Blu-ray player, right? That's worth it right there. And the fact, obviously, that your original Xbox One games and backwards compatible games, 360 compatible games, will look better. So this system being $500, that's a good price. That's a very, very good price. That is not a rip-off at all. That's very important to remember. Thing is, even though it is worth $500, you got to think about it from the perspective of the general consumer, right? They're going to go into the store and they're going to see a $500 Scorpio and let's just go with current prices, a $400 PS4 Pro or a $250 PlayStation 4. What do you think they're gonna buy? Most people are like, hey, that's a cheaper console, I'm gonna buy that one. I mean, if you think about it, that's what happened with the PS4 and Xbox One when they both came out. You had the Xbox One at $500, at the PS4 at $400, which ended up winning. And let's just be honest, man, that first year, Xbox had better exclusives than Sony. Sony didn't really have any crazy ass exclusive until this year. Let's just be honest, But it's still one because price is very, very important. Then of course, we got to talk about games, right? Again, I know I'm going to get in trouble with you guys with this, but let's just be 100 here, right? Xbox this generation, they've had some really good games, right? You got Gears of War 4, Sunset Overdrive, Dead Rising 3, Ori and the Blind Forest, Forza Horizon 3, Halo 5, Forza Motorsport, Rise of the Tomb Raider. That was timed, but that still counts. And you know what? I'm throwing Rise, Son of Rome in there. I like that game, but they've had some good shit, in those first few years. But lately, this 2017, let's look at 2017, right? Halo Wars 2 and fucking Voodoo Vince remastered. That's all they got, you know. So and the thing is, like, the future for Xbox for 2017 doesn't really look any better, you know. It's like we know Forza Motorsport 7's coming, that's pretty much guaranteed, but Sea of Thieves, we don't know if that's coming this year. Cuphead's been in limbo forever. Fucking Crackdown 3, that's been kind of in limbo too. So and Scalebound was canceled, Fable Legends canceled. It's like, okay, you get this beefy ass fucking Scorpio, what are you going to be playing on it? Old Xbox games? Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? And then Sony, on the other hand, they're going to have all those bundles and shit coming. Destiny 2, fucking World War II Call of Duty, and Red Dead Redemption 2, right? They have all the exclusive rights for that. Granted, those games are coming to the Xbox One, but you know how these things work. People are going to go into stores, they're going to think, oh shit, those games are only available on Sony because, you know, the way they're advertised. The same thing happened with Call of Duty last generation. People thought the games weren't on PlayStation, even though they were, you know, because of the Microsoft exclusivity, right? So games, that's going to be a tough one right there, because again, you're going to buy this beefy ass system. What the fuck are you going to play on it? There's really nothing on there for in the foreseeable future, you know. Maybe Xbox will drop some like crazy ass like announcement at E3. That's entirely possible. Matter of fact, I hope that's what happens, but at the moment, ain't shit to be hyped up about for Scorpio. All right, then we got to look at the third-party games, right? Because a lot of, you know, I'm just gonna be honest, a lot of fanboys have been running around saying that, oh, that's it, every third-party game is gonna look significantly better on Scorpio, right? The thing is, if you look at it at face value, that actually makes perfect sense, right? You got a console that's, you know, not way more powerful, but it's more powerful than the PlayStation 4 Pro. The game should look better, right? But, you know, here's the thing, right? I'm pretty sure first-party games, you know, from Microsoft Studios, they're going to look fucking good. They're going to look fantastic on Scorpio, right? Third-party games, on the other hand, they won't be under that obligation, right? We could just look at the PlayStation 4 Pro for this, right? What do developers mainly do? They slap on some higher textures, and that's it, you know? Higher resolution textures, excuse me. That's what they mainly do. Some developers, they kind of go out of their way, like Tomb Raider, Rise of Tomb Raider, they had 1080p/60 frames per second option. They had 4K options, all this other shit, right? Horizon Zero Dawn, first party game, they actually went, you know, a little bit extra with the checkerboard rendering. But most third party developers, they didn't do shit. And it's not because the system lacks power, it's because it's not worth it. Let's just be completely honest here. Right now, the PlayStation 4 Pro is only selling about 15% of what the PS4 in general sells, right? That's a small amount, and I think you could expect that for the Scorpio. Only a small amount of Scorpios will be sold because, again, this system is not made for general consumers. It is made for the hardest of the hardcore guys. Tech enthusiasts, Xbox fans, even those nuts with the purple Emma in their names, you know, is made for those guys, you know. So there won't be that many Scorpios out there. So why should a third-party developer go all out for these games when they're not going to see that much of a return on it? Let's just be honest. Think about it like this, right? Xbox One version of games generally don't sell as much as PlayStation 4 games. Xbox Scorpio versions of these games are going to sell even less. So again, what possible incentive does a developer have to just go all out on fucking Scorpio, right? They may throw the 4K textures in there because the machine will be capable of that, but that's about it. That's all you're gonna get. You're not really gonna see the shit going all out. Again, if you guys think I'm crazy, look at what's happening with the PlayStation 4 Pro. Some games do have 4K on it. You know, they actually put a little extra in there, but most of the time, developers are not gonna go all out like that, man. You know, and the other thing we gotta talk about real quick is, okay, because again, you know, a lot of these guys are saying, oh, the only thing that's gonna hold Scorpio back is the PlayStation 4 Pro because it's the weaker console. No, the weaker console in this whole scenario is the Xbox One. Remember, no Scorpio exclusive games means these games have to run on every single Xbox, which means the Xbox One game needs to be taken into consideration and will possibly hold back the Scorpio. I'm not saying it is going to hold it back, but they possibly could hold it back. You know, the games are at least the games won't be able to live up to their full potential because they have to be made with the weaker SKU in mind. So definitely got to keep that in mind. Very important. So don't expect, you know, too many games to be complete blowouts like that. You know what I'm saying? Like things like Horizon Zero Dawn on PlayStation may be very rare on Scorpio. Then, of course, we got to talk about what Sony's going to be doing, right? Do you think Sony's just going to sit on their hands doing nothing when a Scorpio comes? No, that's not going to happen. Okay, like I said, right now, PS4 Pro, $400, regular PlayStation $250. You really think you're going to keep those prices the same by the time this holiday comes? No, this is what's going to happen. They're going to drop the price of the Pro. I'm going to, not assume, I'm going to guess, right? Between $300 and $350. $350 might be more likely, but let's say around that area. $300, $350. Regular PlayStation 4 maybe even drop to $200, right? Again, consumers go into these stores, they're going to see, hey, can I get this system for $500 or $350 or $200? So that's also very important to understand here. Sony has a very clear and distinct price advantage here. They're gonna drop those. I'm telling you right now. And then going back to those fucking bundles we talked about, right? If you're gonna sell okay, check this out. You have an Xbox Scorpio, right, for $500, and I don't even know if it's gonna come bundled with anything. Sony's dropping those bundles, right? So think about it. Customer goes in the store, Destiny 2 bundle, PlayStation 4 Pro, $300. The fuck out of here. What do you think's gonna happen? They're gonna buy that. It's gonna be insane. Same thing with Call of Duty, Star Wars Battlefront. Yeah, I almost forgot about Battlefront. Battlefront 2 is exclusive too. Has an exclusivity deal. It's gonna be bananas, man. I'm telling you, like, people are gonna be hard pressed to buy a Scorpio when you could buy a PlayStation that's not only cheaper but has the hottest games of the freaking fall. I'm telling you. And then the other thing is, think about it. Where people are gonna go where their friends are, right? Most people have PlayStations. Sony expects to sell 60 million PlayStation 4s by the end of the year, right? I think they've sold around 55 million right now. I could see that happen. They may even do a little more than 60, but let's stick with 60, right? People are going to go where their friends are, right? So they're going to buy these games, even though Destiny 2, Star Wars, Call of Duty is going to be on Xbox. They're going to go where their friends are. That's PlayStation. So I don't really see Sony having any problems right there. But, to be fair, let's say for the sake of argument, the Scorpio drops for $400, right? Even then, it's still going to be tough. It's still going to be really, really tough for Scorpio to get an edge out. Granted, it's going to sell more systems because $400 is a very, very nice price indeed, but it's still going to have a tough time of it. Think about it like this, right? You have the bundles that Sony's going to have, right? You have those third-party exclusive deals, and it's not going to be a clean sweep. This isn't, right? And then we also need to bring up the whole, the other elephant in the room, 4K, right? Even though 4K is like the new hotness right now, it's not the standard. It isn't. Like, most people don't even have 4K TVs. Like, tech enthusiasts have 4K TVs and all that, but the general audiences, they don't have 4K TVs. Now, granted, guys who only have 1080p televisions, they're going to see a benefit from playing on Scorpio, right? They're going to see, the texture's going to look better and all that, but generally, they're not going to see much of a difference. They're not going to see much of an advantage, right? So a Scorpio is really made for 4K, people who have 4K TVs, and most people don't. It is not the standard right now. And let's just be honest, most people can't even tell the difference between 4K and like 1800p or something like that. It really don't. Especially if they don't have a big enough TV. So the whole 4K thing, not only, I wrote this in the editorial, not only is it like not really a benefit for Scorpio, it's going to be irrelevant. It's not going to be a factor. Like, some guys may be wowed by the whole 4K thing. Most people are going to be like, okay, whatever, who cares? And then, of course, the last point, very important here, right? The most powerful system doesn't always win a generation. As a matter of fact, most of the time, the most powerful system doesn't win a generation, right? And I know what you guys are going to say, what about the PlayStation 4? Yes, but that's an anomaly. The PlayStation 4 was both the best-selling console and the most powerful console. But that is something you don't see. Most of the time, the opposite is true, right? The weaker console dominates. Let's go back a little bit, right? GameCube and the original Xbox, monster machines, right? Especially the fucking Xbox, right? Crazy-ass machines. They both got slaughtered by the PlayStation 2, which was weak, Then you got to think about the Wii, right? What was the Wii? The Wii was basically a fucking GameCube with motion controls, right? Murdered PS3 and Xbox 360 that had HD graphics. So again, man, just because Scorpio is more powerful doesn't guarantee its victory. It doesn't at all. Again, general consumers don't give a fuck. Price and games, that's what they care about. But, just to end this off on a positive note, is Scorpio doomed? No, it's not doomed. It's going to sell well among the people that it's meant to sell for, And even Microsoft said this is not supposed to be their main sales system. The main sales system is the fucking Xbox One S. That's going to be the main system, right? And that's going to do well, and that's probably going to get a price drop too. I guarantee that, But the Scorpio itself, not only will it not close the gap, I know some guys are like, oh, that's it, PlayStation 4 is done in the world, in America. No, it's not. That gap ain't closing. That gap is like 30 million consoles almost. I think right now it's probably 25 million, because I believe, again, here Microsoft doesn't give out numbers, but Xbox One has probably sold around 30 million, close to 30 million. PlayStation has 55 million. That's more or less been confirmed. There's a 25 million gap there. It's probably gonna be 30 by the year's end. So that gap ain't closing because of Scorpio, because it's not meant to be like a general consumer product. It is made for the hardcore dudes, right? They're gonna buy it. It's gonna be successful among that crowd, but it is not meant to like actually like compete with more moderately priced systems, and that's fine. It's gonna do well among that crowd, and I'm pretty sure they'll be happy. So no worries there. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it for this little bit longer Tony's Take, but it's been a while, so I wanted to give you guys something. I'm gonna link to my editorial down below. Please read it, comment if you want. Should be interesting. So that's that. Crossing my fingers that more news happens this week. I know Call of Duty. By the way, let me ask you, do you guys want me to talk about Call of Duty when that shit drops? Because I personally don't give a fuck about Call of Duty, but if you guys want me to do a Tony's Take on it, I'll happily do it, but just let me know, because otherwise I'm not gonna fucking do it. Anyway, man, thank you for watching this shit. Make sure to hit like, unlike if you didn't like what I had to say, but subscribe to the channel, please. Once again, I was Tony, and I'll see you around later.